All right, Shalom. I'd like to start out with saying, Call Halayim La Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of the great millstone, double honors to our elder apostle as well, her one by Yashar, down in the lines and camp. Salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth, sincerity, and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Shem Shai. All right, I'm Khanas by Yashar from the lines in the Yashar camp, and this is another Lions Den news and prophecy, and you know how we do. Let's get it. This is Second Ezra chapter 15, verse 1. It says, Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All right, so you have a situation over there with Iran, with the United States and Iran. And Israel's been kind of quiet too in this situation. It's crazy. But that's the ones who brought America into the war. But um, allegedly, well, not allegedly, Donald Trump said that he's gonna. Right. So apparently, this past Saturday, I forgot what it's called, Operation something or another. Uh, let me look it up. Um, he said that he was going to use the Navy to escort some ships through the Strait of Hormuz. Um, I forgot what it was called. It was Operation something. But it says in 2026 reported the United States military to escort and guide stranded because there was a bunch of ships stranded out in the sea. Oh, it's called Project Freedom. All right, it says and guide stranded merchant ships through the Strait of Hormuz is called Project Freedom. Launch Launched by President Donald Trump to counter Iran's blockade, the operation involves U.S. Navy destroyers assisting vessels in the waterway. Now check this out. We had a ship come out of that. We're in Jacksonville, Florida, and there's two big naval bases in Jacksonville. You have NAS Jax and you have Mayport. Um, um, NAS Jax is a naval base, but they got more planes on that. Mayport got all the ships. And one of the ships that are stationed in Mayport is over there in the Strait of Hormuz. Right? I forgot the name of it. It's an article. I'm gonna probably do another lesson on it. But what happened was they had to pull out because it started getting fired upon. As it was, I want to say it was trying to escort some ships through the straits. And there's another article I was looking at and do a lesson on that. That Iran fired upon 6 vessels, right, that were trying to go through the Strait of Hormuz. And then you have this article right here that says Iran warns it is just getting started. U.S. moves to dial down heat. All right. So what is it saying? Um, Two things. Two things. You know, Joel 3:30 says, "Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong." Right. That's what's happening. right? And also, what's happening is the Lord's taking up a proverb against the king of Babylon and putting a stop to all this force that it once had. So Yahweh Shemel Shai is weakened in Babylon, man. All right, so let's read this article a little bit. It says Iran warned Tuesday that it was just getting started after its military clashed with U.S. forces attempting to guide commercial vessels marooned in the Persian Gulf out through the Strait of Hormuz. It says Iranian Parliament Speaker Mohammad Ghalibaf warned Tuesday that Iran was just getting started after its military clash with U.S. forces. I guess that's the guy right there. And look at the smirk that he has on his face, man. Man, they is not worried about what anything that America has to offer, man. Straight up and down. Straight up and down. Like they are not afraid. It said, let the weak say that I am strong. It said Mohammed Ghalibaf, Speaker of the Iranian Parliament, signaling Iran's intention to exploit the United States need for a timely resolution to the conflict, and Iran was in for an digging in for an extended fight that it was prepared to keep going for as long as necessary. See, they're trying to force the issue of peace because really America can't afford to continue this war. Period. Can't afford to continue the war. So they're trying to apply more pressure, hoping that quote unquote what Trump said, they will say uncle. Like who was that? Um what was the guy that on the Daily Report? Whatever, I forgot his name. But anyway, this is not a tickle contest. Talking about you trying to get somebody to say uncle. You know? You can tell that this dude is very immature. He acts like a spoiled kid, you know? And his followers treat him as such. They cater to, it doesn't matter how idiotic or stupid he sounds, they still extol everything he says to the clouds, man. They don't find no wrong in what he does. Those are the ones that are supporting him, right? So what is going to be the next move? Because America can't afford to continue this. It's 2 billion a day, are some of the numbers I heard. But last week I did a lesson because the article said year to date it's only been 25 billion that's been spent. But then again, it kind of subliminally said that's what that number of the 25 billion is only the cost of ammunition, of cost of munitions. You know, so but Iran is prepared for whatever. To think about it, one advantage they have is home field advantage. They ain't got to travel no more. They just sit at home and regroup. America has to pull out, go somewhere, station, regroup. You know what I'm saying? Fix this, heal that. You know what I'm saying? Then try to come back and fight. You know, and so America's being stretched thin and being exposed. All their weaknesses are being exposed, man. And what's going to happen? I shall go up into the land of unwalled villas. That's given Putin the opportunity to catch the United States lacking, man. All right, it says the new equation in the Strait of Hormuz is being solidified. Shipping security and energy transit have been jeopardized by the U.S. and its allies with the ceasefire violations and blockade. However, their evil acts will fail. See, they're doing evil, wicked acts. All right, it says we know well that the continuation of the status quo is intolerable for America. Right? See that? While we are just getting started, said Jill Boff. See that? America can't afford to continue this war. But you know what? Iran is fully prepared. That's what caught America by surprise. That's the shock factor. And so, speaking at a news briefing at the Pentagon on Tuesday, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth appeared to try and de escalate the situation, stressing that the mission to free trap merchant ships was a short term defense operation purely aimed at providing protection for hundreds of vessels, he said, are lining up to transit. But Iran said if you do that, that is what is it called? What is it called? A violation of the ceasefire, and they're gonna respond, and they did, and they're doing it. It says Project Freedom is defensive and nature focused in scope of temporary duration with one mission protecting innocent commercial shipping from Iranian aggression. American forces won't need to enter Iranian waters or airspace. It's not necessary. We're not looking for a fight, he said. No, but Trump said y'all looking for a fight. And he gonna increase it. There's another article say and Trump's gonna increase it. You know, Iran want to fight. You know, you got like a water moccasin is a snake that a lot of snakes when they hear noise they'll give you a signal and they'll run away and mind their own business. But this particular snake, a water moccasin, they want to fight. They're gonna charge after you. If they see you at any kind of threat, you don't even have to be a threat to them. They're gonna attack. And that's how Iran is sitting right now. They don't want no negotiation. They want to fight. All right. It's a day one of Trump's Project Frio on Monday saw Iran claim its fire on U.S. naval vessels approaching the strait, forcing one to turn around, while Trump said U.S. forces sank 7 Iranian Navy fast boats, prompting Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi to dub the effort Protect Deadlock. It says, warning that the conflict could only be resolved through compromise. All right, so the UAE also said it was targeted with Iran. I seen that article saying it, but hey, that's their own fault though, because when they did the first initial ceasefire, right, the next day the UAE attacked Iran allegedly, but Trump was saying, oh, they weren't part of the agreement. And then I think later somebody attacked Lebanon, and Iran was trying to get Lebanon to be a part of the ceasefire agreement, but America didn't want to, if I'm not mistaken. So that pressure that Trump was trying to apply is not being felt by Iran because they want all the smoke. They want all the smoke, man. It says the UAE also said it was targeted with Iranian missiles and drones for the first time since a ceasefire came into force April 9th, blaming the attacks for a fire in its Fujairah oil industry zone in which 3 people were injured. Events in Hormuz make clear that there's no military solution to a political crisis. As talks are making progress with Pakistan's gracious effort, the United States should be wary of being dragged back into a Gargamel by little wishers. So said should the UAE, said Aragchi. So yeah, you see, even when they're trying to pull out, it's something that's pulling them back in the war. At least of them start drawing them out. First was Iran, now UAE. It said the comments came hours after Trump threatened to blow Iran off the face of the earth. See that? If it attacked U.S. vessels involved in Project Freedom. But it did. But it's still here. U.S. Central Command said no U.S. Navy ship had been taking fire while Iran. That's a lie. That's a lie. It says this might be an older article than correct. This was yesterday, but article came out today. Um, a Navy ship was attacked by Iran. I'm gonna do a lesson on that too. It says while Iran rejected as outright lies claims that CENTCOM that two U.S. flagged merchant vessels successfully transmitted through the Strait of Hormuz and are safely headed to their journey. All right. Well, um, but with this whole situation with the Strait of Hormuz, man, it's showing the the abundance of control and power that Iran has and the lack thereof from the United States. So there you have it. Um, let's get the scripture right. It says Isaiah 14 and 4 said that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon and say, how has the oppressor ceased, the golden city ceased? See, normally when they show up with force like that, people bow down. Well, how is it this time, particular time, that they're flexing their muscles and ain't nobody budging? It said the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. Right. So who was the staff of the wicked was America that Europe was using to rule the nations. Europe been like it says in Revelation 13, it gave power and the seat and great authority. Okay. It says, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. Right. I mean, and then the crazy part about it is, you know, you had the Prince of whatever, the King of Britain or UK, whatever the hell, come over here and really like, you know how you know how you have like the mafia or whatever, and you got the one that everybody sees as the boss, but then his boss shows up and cusses his ass out in front of everybody. That's literally what happened. You know, that's crazy. So and what does it say in Jeremiah? It says, thy mother shall be ashamed, that shall be she that bare you shall be sore confounded. They're getting sick of this place, man. It also says in Revelation, these shall turn and hate the whore and burn her with fire, man. So we're witnessing our captivity being turned back before our eyes. All right. It says, the Lord hath broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. He who smote the people with wrath with a continual stroke. He that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted and none hindered. Don't nobody care, man. Everybody wants to see this place be destroyed, man, because of all the atrocities that is brought forth on the earth, man. All the dividing and conquer, all this to push their narrative, all this to push their agenda. All this is for greed and corruption, right? It says the whole earth is at rest and quiet. They break forth into singing. So when this place officially goes down, like you got people applauding Iran right now. The ones that are not blinded by the American propaganda and thinking that everybody thinks America is taking down all these bullies, but America's been the bully since day one. It says, yea, the fir trees rejoice at thee, then the cedars of Lebanon, saying, since thou art laid down, no fellow has come up against us. Right? Ain't gonna be able to ain't nobody else gonna be able to rise up anyway. You know? The Lord's taking down all these nations. All right, so verse 9 it says, hell from beneath is moved to meet thee at thy coming, it stirreth up the dead for thee, all the chief ones of the earth, it raised up from the thrones all the kings of the nations. Right. All the dead, the ones that were put in the dust, the ones that are put in the dust under Babylon. How about Babylon finna be right down there with them? All right, it says, all they shall speak and say unto thee, art thou become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us? That's what he asking. Like, whoa, you down here with us now. Let us give you some of this hell that you caused on earth. See that? So, read it again. Iran warns it is just getting started. U.S. moves to dial down heat. Yeah, so you gotta turn that heat down because Iran wants all the smoke, man. All right? Lord, will this lesson edify and serve its purpose for the hope of the elect, the ones who truly believe in the name Yahweh Shema Shai. With that, I'd like to call Halayim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Harikah Kodash, Ma'amad. Double honors to the elder apostles, great Muslim, double honors to our elder apostles as well. I heard one by Yashar Allah down in the lions and camp. Salutations to the argument of pushing the truth to sincerity and truth. And peace and blessing to the men, women, and children that believe in the name Yahweh Shema Shai. Shalom.